Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another fabulous edition of Overnight Gaming News. Now, if you're not sure what this is all about, this is basically where I take a handful of tidbits of gaming news and break it down into one good video to where you don't have to click on a bunch of videos. There's not a bunch of BS. It's just a really fun way to get the word out about some great news that's happening in the gaming world. It's not necessarily going to be something I do every day, but on certain days where there is a plethora of gaming news and I'm not really sure what to focus on, it's definitely one of these days today because I felt like there was a lot of news out there in the world. And it's not necessarily PlayStation related, it could be Xbox related, and it doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It could be good Xbox, bad Xbox, good PlayStation, bad PlayStation. Just, a good fun way to kind of start things and get things going. And I wanted to get things going with something that I felt was very interesting because, again, this is a big reason why, PlayStation has jumped out to such a big lead when it comes to this generation. And this is kind of really interesting. So Saints Row the Third Remastered on the PlayStation 5, the release is coming next week with a free upgrade running at 4K 60 frames per second. Deep Silver has confirmed that Saints Row the Third Remastered will get a PS5 release on May 25th, 2021 with a free upgrade available for all existing owners. The version of the game will run at a dynamic 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. Loading times will be improved thanks to the PS5 solid-state drive, and the DualSense controller will glow purple to represent the Saints. Now, it doesn't look like the game will utilize the controller's unique haptic feedback or adaptive triggers, however, so you have to keep that in mind where this is going forward. What's very interesting about this is their official statement also states that it's only going to be a 1080p game on the Xbox Series X. This is what they said. Exciting news has just dropped, Saints. On May 25th, Saints Row the Third Remastered will bring the mayhem to the Xbox Series X, S, and PlayStation 5. This version will also be free to all current owners of the game and will equal the Ultra settings on PC. Improvements made to the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 versions include a frame rate boost to 60 frames per second and dynamic 4K. Whilst Xbox Series X players can choose between performance 60 frames per second with 1080p and a beauty 30 frames per second 4K mode. Of course, this version will also take advantage of the solid-state drives in the new console to serve much faster loading times. Plus, by popular request, we have added Saints Purple to glow color on the DualSense controller. To add to the Saints news, we can confirm that Saints Row the Third Remastered will be available on blah 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 PC as well. So yeah, now this could be a bit of a misprint because it does mention to say that in a dynamic 4K resolution. I don't know. It's pretty clear that the Xbox Series X players are only going to have a 1080p 60 or a 4K 30 option. So that's a little bit weird to me. That maybe that was the Series S version, because it says improvements made to the Xbox Series X and PS5 version include a frame rate boost to 60 and dynamic 4K resolution. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe debunk this myself and say this is misprinted and that the Series S version is going to do 1080p 60, which isn't so bad, but again, it's just one of those things that are kind of weird that the way that this thing is listed. So that is a little bit interesting, and you guys will probably see that, yeah, I find that to be kind of funny. I don't know. It's weird, too. Also, I know a lot of people are very interested in the Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online PS5 release date and Xbox release date, and now that is set for November. So a lot of people are going to be super excited about this. What's so funny is the fact that, that I find that we're going to be getting, this game again and possibly remastered for PS5 and Xbox Series X and all that. Yet, at the same time, people have been waiting years for the next iteration. Now, I think this game does so well that there might not be a next iteration. I mean, honestly, so many people play this game, and so many people are all about this franchise that, I think that it maybe behooves them not to make it. I mean, would you really, if you're making as much money as they are and still selling so many copies, would you really go out there and do what they're doing? I mean, honestly, I just think that I don't know that I would, and I don't mean to sound like a jerk about it, but to be honest with you, it seems like they're doing so well that there would be no real reason to do that, like doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. But with that being said, Rockstar's announced that GTA 5 and GTA 5's online standalone release will come on November 11th, 2021. Both will release on the same day, and PlayStation players get GTA Online free at launch for 3 months until February 2022. The new version of the game will have a range of technical improvements, visual upgrades, and performance enhancements to take advantage of the latest hardware. We don't know a lot about the release yet, but once we do, we'll be sure to update you when this actually happens. Apparently, the release was previously announced at the PS5 reveal, with 2K later detailing the PS5 upgrade wouldn't be just a simple port, and that new enhancements and upgrades would be added. So apparently, it's floating around that this isn't going to be like a free thing either. So this is possibly going to be a situation where it's not going to be free, and you might have to buy it again. And I'm sure people will probably buy it again. I mean, that's just the way these things kind of go. People kind of support these things and, like that game so much. I never even got around to playing much. I played a little bit of the campaign and thought it was pretty good, but I moved on to other games pretty quickly. So yeah, very interesting, to say the least, when it comes to that. There's also a free PS5 and PS4 multiplayer weekend confirmed for May 22nd and the 23rd. Sony Interactive Entertainment has confirmed it will be hosting a free PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 multiplayer weekend spanning May 22nd and the 23rd. It means you'll be able to game online with friends without a PlayStation Plus subscription. Here's the blurb from Sony. If you haven't tried the online multiplayer benefit from Sony's PlayStation Plus yet, we're hosting a free online multiplayer weekend where you'll be able to access the online multiplayer modes and PS4 and PS5 games that you own. Hop on PSN during the following dates and times to take advantage of this. Online multiplayer games sold separately requires internet connection, blah, blah, blah. Sony announced during their last fiscal report that PS Plus has eclipsed 47.6 million members worldwide, which is incredible when you think about it, because the Xbox 360 never reached that plateau, and it was at the height of, Halo and Gears and Call of Duty, and yet never was able to reach that kind of level of, of sales for that. So yeah, I find that to be very interesting, to say the least, and very cool that they're doing that. So you'll be able to maybe hop on, play some free games and stuff like that. The last thing I wanted to talk about is Microsoft is cutting out a loophole for cheaper Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Microsoft has closed the door for getting cheaper Xbox Game Pass Ultimate through EA Play subscription, as confirmed by an update on the support website. When EA Play was first up there, it led to a loophole where it was possible to redeem 1 year of EA Play at $30 for 4 months of Game Pass Ultimate. This deal was essentially a loophole because 4 months of Game Pass Ultimate is basically double the price of 1 year of EA Play. In a new update that was posted on the support of the official website, it's been confirmed that EA Play will now convert into just 2 months of Game Pass Ultimate. So they fixed that up, and I do think that that's very interesting, to say the least, just because of the way things are kind of going with everything, and I find it to be a little bit odd that that's the way that this kind of went about or whatever. So yeah, very interesting, to say the least. And I also find it to be kind of weird that they're doing it, but as long as they're still offering the free stuff basically for $1 or whatever, I think it's going to be very interesting to say the least. So yeah, I find it to be, we're going to have to wait and see what Microsoft does long term with this, because they clearly want a situation where they can be gamers, and they want people to pay a full $15 price tag for this stuff. And is that going to be the way it's going to be? I don't really know. I don't really know. I think that that's going to be a super interesting thing when that comes about, and people are forced to sort of pay that $15-$20 type of deal. And for me personally, I find it to be incredibly interesting to see how far they could possibly drop off when all things are kind of said. So, with that being said, I would really appreciate your guys's feedback on this. If you guys like the format and stuff like that, let me know. Thank you guys very much for rocking out with me. Please have a fantastic day. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.